Hello, hello, hello. And how is everyone? All right. Oh my God, I'm stuck under here. I wanted to talk to you about some of the great and wonderful, fun, free workshops that I'm doing and have been doing. I've been doing them with my old job, my new job, and even I've done them for free. I've always done them. I've done them in the public schools and the senior centers and everything. But this time you get a chance to get the workshop virtual, or you can get them in person on the site you work in, or you can get them on the site that I work in or nearby. So feel free to do these workshops. You get a certificate after some of the workshops. Okay, you gain experience, and you can use the certificate for employment, and you can just stack them all up. You know what I mean? And you can just have a good time with it. They're fun and they're easy. Okay, so let's get going. One of the first workshops I want to talk about is driver's ed. Driver's ed is really a workshop I had came together a long time ago because people always wanted their driving license and a permit, but they used to when they had books, they used to study the books and go get the test, and they would pile it up or make that promise to themselves or resolution and never get the permit. So I put a workshop together where they could do it all in one day study, or they can do it once a week study or a couple of times a week, but I let them make the decision, and we would come together and go through the chapters that was needed to pass the test. They could be 16 and above to do this, and once we did it and we went through it, I would make sure they understood the test and understood everything, and then we would have a celebration party. I gave them certificates of encouragement and accomplishment, and we would go down the motor vehicles all together, and they would take the test. And whatever it takes, they usually all pass the test. But we had a plan. If God forbid, if they didn't, we would go back another time and do it again. And the people that wanted to do it in Spanish, had to let them know that it was harder. So even though they may have studied it with me, or even had a translator or what have you, they still it was harder in Spanish. But a lot of times, sometimes they passed it in Spanish and they passed it in English. So that was a good thing. But the permit thing, was it encouraged them, and it gave them a lot of it made them happy and made them feel good. So I was glad to have made that up and still doing it, so many years later. I was like in my 30s when I made this thing up, and now I'm almost 60 and it still works. How about that? So come on and get that. Therapeutic arts and crafts. Well, there were a variety. That's another thing that I came up with. I came up with most of these things, and some of these things I read about, and I got with people that also facilitate. So you wouldn't be tired of my face. You would get other instructors that I would partner with and talk with and say, let's do this to help the community. Let's do this to help people. So we would do it with churches and different businesses in the community that wanted this. All right, so therapeutic arts and crafts, you learned how to make a lot of different things. And the things that you made, you could decorate the house with. The things that you made, you can give it out as a gift. Or the things that you made help you to relax, help you to even think, help you to brainstorm, even help you to meet other people while you're in the class. And what I did is whatever I taught them, whatever they knew about arts and crafts, I let them teach us. So everybody was able to be the teacher in the class and the presenter in the class. So we made rock and shiala clothespins. We used plasters of Paris. We made baskets out of newspaper. We would roll the newspapers up in little pieces and create a basket and spray paint it. You would never know it wasn't a basket, or it was newspaper rolled up that way, because it looked so beautiful once you spray painted it and was giving it out. People had just loved that. And even the pictures we used to make, that was another glue project with pictures that you had already, and you would magnify it on a copy machine, and then you can blow the picture up. It could be any picture you wanted of yourself or something that you saw in a magazine, and next thing you know, it could be like a poster or a beautiful picture on your wall, and you had to just put it together. That was a whole lot of fun. But we've done so many things, stained glass window art, and all kind of foil art. So these things are beautiful and a lot of fun. Sometimes you hand painted stuff, sometimes you spray painted stuff. You use the acrylic paints and the different paints and stuff like that. We've done like even little aerobics and little of walking off the pounds where we walk through the community and neighborhood. That was always a lot of fun. It got the people walking, got the people moving, got the people feeling good, and everybody's walking and power walking together through the neighborhood and the blocks and stuff. You could do that way, or you could do it in a park or something nearby, or around a school or a track. But it was always great to do it around the neighborhood. People saw you, people wanted to get involved and got to know you. You had to be cleared for a doctor to do walking off the pounds. So we could do that around where I work, or we could do that around where you work if you think that you'd like that. But it got to be clear from a doctor that you're able to do that. We don't want anybody to get sick or hurt in any way. Anger management was another thing we had done. I had so many great teachers that did that, and that would help you with triggers, the things that might be triggered you to make you angry or upset. And they gave you relaxing ways to deal with it and different types of tips and so forth. You know, Conflict resolution too. Sometimes people have issues with other people on the job in different places in the home, and sometimes even God forbid, even in the church. But whatever they had, they were able to work things out. So those are good to do. Excuse me. Interviewing tips. I call that job preparation workshop. I do that one too. And you would learn how a different type of clothes that you can wear on an interview. How to have your resume together and plan it. Have your reference letters and stuff together. You know what I mean? And you would practice being interviewed or doing interviews as well if you wanted to do an interview. But the person that's going on the interview, what you would do, because you're already scared a little, you're already nervous and stuff like that. So you would want to, you want to you would like to try it out. So by practicing and everything. So that was good. So we did things and I gave them information that they could use and take home and study and do things together within the class. Okay. Bullying. God help our youth and people that are being bullied. You know what I mean? And even the seniors that have been, abused, and youth and stuff have been abused, all kind of things go on in life. You know what I mean? But sometimes just make a person be killed or, God forbid, commit suicide because they're bullied or cyberbullied. Well, I had an excellent teacher. Remember, with these classes, besides myself, um, I have educators and teachers and therapists and nutritionists and all type of people doing these classes. They have extensive training. They have degrees and all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So even for stress management and dealing with crisis and stuff, and even dealing with depression and death, a loss of somebody. We had a grief class, and the grief class, an excellent group of women did that. My coworker got in touch with these people, and they did an excellent job. And it was a 2-day training, virtual, and we were able to get certificates out of that. You know what I mean? So crisis counselors also are running these classes too. All right. Let me see. Special needs. A lot of times I used to be a special needs coordinator as well as a social worker for my jobs. And the thing about it is that a lot of times it's hard on parents to deal when their children learn differently or have issues with certain things with learning or behavior. And a lot of times, sometimes they would come to me and say, my baby or my child is not talking, or my child have selective mutism, or all kind of things. So, sometimes when a child will come to the school, they were fine after they went to school because they got to socialize and do other things. Whatever they was doing in the house, they would stop. And the parents said, "Oh, this all they needed was school." I didn't know, but there are times they need more than that. So I would help them with that, and let them know their rights and what they could do and things like that. But in the class, where we got a professional person to do the class. It lets you see the signs when your child may be dealing with these things that you're not sure about, or you see and don't understand, or you don't see or don't want to see, whatever way it is, or you can't see or accept. And that's hard on any and everybody, but a lot of times when they get the help, I know a lot of them that had the help by the time they got the help in preschool and daycare and Head Start. In public school, the child was much better, fine, learning better, on the same, thing as the other children because they had the time to be able to have these things done. You know what I mean? And some people waited so long that it was hard on the child. You know what I mean? And they felt tortured in public school. But anyway, I am just that was a very good class too. So they did signs and prevention and preparation. Preparation. All right. Voice and drama. I do the voice and drama. I was a professional actress. I also sing and write songs and stories besides books and poetry and things of that nature. So you were able to act different scenes out, able to maybe go on an audition if you wanted to, or we would put on a little production or something like that, fashion show or play. We used all the gifts and talents of the person. So if you could write, you could sing, you can act. We were able, that was a great workshop and a fun workshop at that. People got to express themselves, learn more about themselves, and have fun doing it. Okay, now let me see. I got stuff everywhere, so I'm making sure. Okay, nutrition workshop. Now, the nutrition workshop, we worked with Cornell. I've been with Cornell for so many years, maybe 30. Having them, do workshops in person and getting certificates after 6 to 8 weeks. And it's once a week for like an hour and 15 minutes or so. And they do it virtual now as well. And they have one of the workshops for children as well. So children are also one of the ones that can do this workshop and get this workshop, and they're free. We have one coming up on the 19th. So if you have a child that like to do this, and they can do it after school, so it doesn't interfere with school, and it'd be 5:30, and they would only do it 6 weeks. They don't do it as long as the adults, and adults only do extra 2 weeks than them, but they also get certificates too, and learning a skill or a trade or whatever you want to call it, and it was a great accomplishment. I remember when I worked with, they offered me a job, Cornell, to be a teacher. I was a social worker at the time, and I lost 50 pounds doing their program. I was 200 and Mm. I was 214 pounds when I got married, but I was still, really heavy and stuff. I caught my husband that day, but I was still heavy. And when I did their program, it helped my clients to change and want to eat different and eat better. And they saw that I lost 50 pounds. And they couldn't believe it. People said, "What are you doing? This and that." And I said, "I ate what I supposed to eat the time I supposed to eat it in the right portion." So simple. But it sounds so simple. People didn't believe me. But when they took the class, they loved it. And some of them also became presenters and teachers and dealing with nutrition and went all the way through with it. So that's another one. If you want that, you can have it at your church, have it at your synagogue, have it anywhere you want to, your religious place. You can have it in a center, a community center, or anything like that. Come to us or do it in your home and do it virtually and still get everything you want and need from it. You learn how to read labels. You learn how to make healthier meals. You learn how to deal with the budget that you have. You learn to do things. You can do some of these things with your children. You learn to make the food colorful and presentable, and even try foods you never liked. I remember they kept saying mix something you don't like or never taste. I think it was yuca I never had, and they even put it in a salad or chopped it up and put it in something. And it opens you up to different and new things as well. You learn good and bad food facts. You could do this class one on one, or you could do this with a group. So if you can, or you can, that way you can make up the decision of the time. Sometimes the teacher will make the decision of the time, and then sometimes the person taking the class, she has them do that. I do that too because I know certain things with college was like that. With the manifest and things like that. You were able to do so it helped you to do things around your schedule. Okay, the financial class. You learned how to budget in the finance classes. I had also had a group come in for that, and they were good. Rosboro was great, and New York Hope, they did workshops for me as well. Um, Sydney Center for Independent People with Disabilities in New York. You know what I mean? Oh man, I have so many good people out there. If I ask them, they do it. You just gotta work around their schedule. And once I know what it is, then I say, okay, we're gonna do this workshop, and I'll put it on Facebook. I'll put it on all the social media. I will text it to friends and family, and I will try to get them a group. Sometimes you just have your own group of people. You say, Lisa, come on, and I have 10 people. I have 15 people. They take as much as 15 people. But sometimes, 20 people will sign up and only 5 people will show up or come. But that's such a popular class. I know in person, a lot of times people really came. And then if you make it too long, people will fall off. But you don't want to fall off because it's good stuff at the end. You just want to make it to the end. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So, you learn also with the finances how to invest your money, how to do savings for yourself and your family. It's never too late to start a savings account for your child, and they learn the value of money at some point. Our kids are, and different resources and assistance about money. All right, different programs and places as well. Caregivers, parenting, and self care workshop. Excellent. That one was beautiful. Mostly all these workshops we already done. So a lot of times we do them over and over again because you didn't get a chance to get it this time. So you get it the next class. All right. So you learn about what a caregiver does and go through. I've been a caregiver 3 times for my husband and for my parents and my siblings. So, that's not an easy job. And a lot of times the caregiver do not take care of themselves. A lot of times they take care of everybody but themselves. And through the pandemic, people have taken care of their children and family more than themselves. And sometimes they get sick or fall apart and everything like that. You know what I mean? So that's why you need self care. Take time out for yourself. Even on the airplane, they tell you do not put the mask on the person. The first thing the person do is trying to save the kid, but then what about you? If you don't save yourself, how you gonna save the kid? Because the kid might not know to put it on, or the kid might panic after something happens to you or whoever it is you're trying to put the mask on first. So put it on yourself. Same thing with the workshops and stuff. You try it first, and you're able to tell other people. But sharing is caring, so share it. We had a accessoride also. Oh, let me back up a minute. Parenting. Some people are wonderful and great parents, and a lot of times you sometimes get stuck with something you're trying to do with or on your kids. I did something earlier about how to spend time with your kids and the benefits of spending time with your children and to help them with grief, or not so much grief, but even their emotions. Sometimes if they're angry or something or whatever it is going on. But parenting class doesn't make you a bad parent. And I know they've had parenting classes for foster care people. And when you're trying to, become a parent or adopt, all kind of reasons they give you parenting class. You could have been a parent for a long time, an excellent, wonderful parent. But a lot of times that's one of the qualifications. But in this case, this is voluntarily for you to do. All the workshops are free. All right, so I'm going back to the accessoride workshop. Sydney did that workshop for me, and Sydney for Center for Independent People with Disabilities in New York is a great advocacy for people with that's disabled. So they have all kind of help for you if you have a disability or anything like that. If you are elderly or sickly, they fight for you. They make sure you know your rights and make sure nobody couldn't do anything wrong or terrible to you. And they're the one that had this workshop because I also take accessoride myself. And sometimes you might not understand what accessoride is or what's your the things you have to do, know your rights about it. When something is wrong, you get a terrible driver because they're terrible drivers sometimes and they're terrible us. Sometimes we act up too. Wow, we do also. So, this workshop tell you everything and to help you and everything. But accessories, transportation to help people that's elderly, people with a disability for 275 to go through the five boroughs of New York. So whether it's a doctor's appointment, I had them about 16 years or whatever it is. When I was on dialysis, I got them, and even I still have them with the transplant and my other things that I got going on. Shango. All right. So we had a resource workshop too, because a lot of times you don't know the resources that's out there. And you also don't know the resources maybe in your community. Everywhere I live and everywhere I move, I find out what's out there. So I even talk to the police station, the community boards, the district, everything to find out what's out there and what they do and how would it work for me. So you have different things that's sitting there in the neighborhood, and sometimes you go right past it or you say, "Oh, you know the name of it, but you don't know what they do." Well, this workshop tells you everything what's being done in your neighborhood and give you ideas. It doesn't mean you don't go to another borough or anywhere to get help, but sometimes people don't like to travel or they just want to stay in their borough. This time you know what's all around you. You want to know something outside the borough, we can tell you that too. How about that one? So I just wanted you to, get some of this. All right. The workshops is designed to encourage you, not to make you feel bad, not to make you feel like you don't know anything. It's just to give you a little extra wisdom than you already have and knowledge that you may have forgotten or haven't rekindled or brought together. And I'm sure you can, and I'm sure you will bring it together at some point in some time. So take advantage of the resources out there. I'm not the only one with resources. I'm not even the only one doing workshops. There are workshops. The library do excellent workshops. You know what I mean? ESL, GED programs within there and what have you. And if you don't know how to use a computer, they have that for the elderly or the people that don't know anything about a computer. Yeah, you can Google it. You can do those things, but some of the people that's not savvy with the computer and or their phone. I have some things going on my phone now. That twice or three times more than twice this happened to me where I had too much stuff in it. And now I brought a cord to put the thing in there and so I could put some of the stuff on the computer. I'm not sure how to do that now. I forgot I did this years ago and now I don't know how to do it. Then I hired somebody to help me to do it or show me. And they, sometimes you hire people or you can ask people or family members, even the youth, and you say, "Oh, let me show me how to do this." And they do everything so quick and don't show you. That means you're gonna have to keep asking them. But if you go to this class, then it's free. And there's other classes and stuff in there and other information in there and different ways to get identification. So learn where you live and let it cater to you, let it love on you, let it help you. Because the solution that you might have for one of the things you're dealing with can be right under your nose. So take the workshops. They are free. You can contact me at riseupeastnewyork.org. That's riseup.eny.org. And say, "Lisa, I want to take one of those workshops, so I'm interested in those workshops." I'm always putting flyers up. So usually my email is on the flyer. The website is on the flyer. The job phone number is on the flyer and what have you. Okay, so 347-417-5368 extension 2003. And just because we're in Brooklyn don't mean we won't help you wherever you at or wherever you are. I help people overseas. I help people in all issues and situations because I care. And I'm not the only one care. I know you care too. So please pass this on. Learn something from me. Learn all you can from me because I want to show you. I want to help you. I want to teach you. And I want to hang with you with it. All right. So be encouraged. Have a wonderful night because I'm doing this at night this time. It didn't work earlier because we had such a storm. And I fell asleep and everything watching my little program. I said, no, let me do this now because I got to go to work back to back. I'm not working from home tomorrow. I'll be in the office for a couple of days. All right. You're welcome to come to the office as well. Um, talk to us. Please look at that website because it has jobs and trainings and all kind of stuff on it, and all of this stuff to benefit with you. They got health fairs out there, street fairs. We have job fairs, and all this is to benefit you as well. We're not asking you for anything, but just to take advantage of it, enjoy it, show up, and use it. See? Okay. It takes teamwork to make dream work. I say that a lot because I heard my Archbishop say it, and I like it. And I wanted to use some other slogan I heard today, but now I don't remember it. That's probably because I need some sleep. How about that? The real sleep. Well, you have a beautiful, great night, and thank you for always supporting me, the Lisa Baxter Show, and your prayers, and your friendship, and your encouragement, and your love, your kindness. Good night. The swelling went down some. I can't wait till they fix this up so I can really be smiling and not have to talk like this or be talking and you see something. But hey, I keep it real in 1000. Bless your life. Okay, thank you. Excuse me. Surgery. Shando. Good night. Good night. Goodbye. And thank you.